Welcome to our third public demo day. I'm Hannah Taylor, the program manager with Travelport Labs. 15 weeks ago, we met these founders and have worked with them to tell their stories, to develop their business models, and to prove their startup success. We are so excited to share their stories with you tonight. With that, I'd like to welcome Nathan Bobbin to the stage.
Travelport started the accelerator 3 years ago because we believe startups were going to play an important role in redefining the travel industry landscape. We wanted to help the next generation of travel tech startups to get the best possible start on their business and help to make travel better for everyone. A rising tide lifts all ships. We also knew that we could learn a ton from startups, from the way that they work, lean and fast, to the technologies that they leverage, to the opportunities that they saw in the market. This is a critical time for Travelport as we evolve from a legacy global distribution system to a modern travel commerce platform focused on API development, mobile applications, and enabling digital retail experiences. Working alongside startup founders who expect a platform like this and want to leverage that kind of platform to create new value in the market is invaluable for Travelport. But it's not these issues that directly impact our industry that had the greatest effect on me personally. Instead, it's the character of the people who make up this community. Most notably, I'm absolutely awed by the founders who go through our program. It's World Series time, and for people who know me, I'm a huge baseball fan, so excuse the extended metaphor. Aaron Judge is the absolute sweetheart of baseball right now. Everybody wants to wear number 99. We've literally got kids on the Little League team fighting over who gets to wear number 99. Aaron Judge hit 52 home runs this year, second most in Major League Baseball in his rookie season. Anybody know how many times Aaron Judge struck out this year? 208. Let me say that again. 208 times he struck out. That means for every time he got up to bat and had the greatest success that you can enjoy at the plate, a home run, 4 times he had the greatest failure that you can experience at the plate. He struck out. Yet he still gets up to bat every time and swings for the fences. In youth baseball, we teach kids that you have to possess bravery to play the game. There's going to be a kid 60 feet away from you throwing a hard ball as fast as he can, and you've got to try to hit it. And the absolute best you can hope for is to fail twice as often as you succeed. If you do that for your career, they put you in the Hall of Fame. And sometimes you're going to get plunked, and that hurts. But you still have to stand in there. You have to swing hard every time, knowing that you're going to fail twice as often as you're going to succeed. Best case. In the startup world, do you know what action from founders correlates most strongly with profitability and growth of their company? It's failure. Founders who fail and learn from their failures is a really important part, who fail more, increase their chances of success long term. That's bravery. That's commitment. That's character. Tonight's not about raising money. It's not about judging the pitches you're about to hear. There are no losers tonight. Tonight is a celebration of the hard work these founders have put into their company. It's a celebration of their successes and the failures that have enabled them. It's a celebration of the bravery that each of these founders possesses to chase their dreams. I couldn't be more proud to introduce to you tonight the 4th Travelport Labs cohort. And with that, let me bring up Rich Peach, who's going to introduce our first team.
Great. So I'm going to introduce a team. And the good news is this team has 2 strikes. But in the startup world, 3 strikes, you're not out. So bear with me. I want to get a little group participation. Can I ask 2 questions? You guys okay with it? 2 questions? You with me? Great. All right, first question. What do you get when you move from Austin, Texas to Singapore, Singapore to France, France to Italy, and Italy to Boulder? You get a lot of stress. You get an employee, a spouse, the kids, the dog, a lot of lost work, a lot of crazy stuff. And all I can tell you is, my name's Rich Peach. I moved to all those places. Saw my crap go in a 40-foot container and come out, and it sucks. So I get to introduce a team, which goes to my second question. You guys ready for question number 2? What happens when you mix Prince Harry, the Beatles, and Harry Potter with bagpipes, Braveheart, and the Loch Ness Monster? What you get is things that come in 2. You get 2 cool accents. You get 2 companies that were launched and profitable in 18 months. You get 2 kids who graduated from university, launched the first company while they're in it. And you get 1 huge learning. This is Hula. And let me just give you a little taste of their first 2 companies. The first one made 15,000 pounds in 3 months. Pounds, not dollars, okay? Left side of the road, right side of the road. This is Britain. 4% gross margin. Ugh. Sounds like the grocery business. Second company, 15,000 pounds a month. 30% gross margin. Sounds a little better. Big lesson. Neither company could scale. 18 months, they launched 2. They shut them down. They're launching their 3rd. I'd like to introduce Hula.
Relocating for work is one of life's most stressful experiences. It's difficult, it's complicated, and it's often incredibly expensive. In actual fact, the average cost of an international relocation for a mid-level employee is $11,000. So companies spend a ton of money, and the experience is still up there with the most stressful, difficult, and expensive things in life. And actually, it was upon learning this that my team and I decided to stop what we were doing, sit up, and pay attention. As Rich alluded to, we're a group of people who have designed, built, and launched 2 travel tech companies, and we've sent customers to over 30 countries around the world. And the last 6 months generated near 6 figures in revenue. However, we've never really found the right problem to solve. Well, the last few months here at Travelport have taught us one thing. This is it. Now, I want everyone in the room to imagine that they are a mid-level employee. That's because 80% of relocating employees are mid-level. And if that's you, then your moving experience probably goes something like this. Hey, congratulations, you are moving to Belgium. Here's some cash. Go figure it out. To which your initial thought is probably, oh, that's amazing. I'm moving to Belgium in 6 weeks. That's great. But that thought then quickly becomes, oh, crap. I'm moving to Belgium in 6 weeks. Because, yeah, moving internationally for work is an incredibly exciting prospect, but it's also a massive pain in the ass. How do I open a bank account? Can I take my stuff? Should I store my stuff? How do I do that? Where do I find a house? How do I find a house? I have a dog. What happens to my dog? This website about utility bills is written entirely in French. I don't speak French. My kids need to go to school. How does that work? Can I even drive in this place? Okay, cool, I can drive, but how do I buy a car? Wait, I don't have a mailing address yet. I need a visa, I need which insurance? Do you know what? Sometimes it's easier to just stay at home. However, if you think it's tough for you, the relocating employee, well, the company that's moving you, they hate all of this even more than you do. Because they're about to lose 4 weeks of productivity from their employee. They have no real way to track and reimburse expenses, and no real way to calculate the full cost of your move and its ROI. And that's because the vast majority of companies that move people around the world are old, antiquated, and offline. And also, they tend to focus on the largest organizations, which means the task of these logistics in mid-sized companies often just falls to someone in HR who really didn't sign up for that. So we at Hula want to take this whole process and bring it online, because now is the time to do it. Every single year, the global spend on relocation services increases. And we're tapping into this opportunity by giving mid-sized organizations, that's organizations of between 200 and 500 employees, a platform to manage their entire employee moving process. And we're targeting specifically relocation-intensive organizations. That's growing web development agencies, academic institutions, tech companies, for example. And our first target market is the UK, our home country. That's because last year, outside of the US, the UK attracted more inbound expats for work than anywhere else on Earth, with 16% of all international relocations being a move from somewhere to the UK. In monetary terms, this movement is worth an estimated $11 billion every single year to the UK economy, and it's growing. Actually, it grew by 13% last year, as 171,000 people, 171,000 people moved to the UK for work. The Hula platform is visible to both the employer and the employee being moved. Firstly, the employee can see the total budget for their relocation. It's completely demystified. And the employer can begin to track and reimburse expenses as they happen. Then, the employee can begin on their own personal relocation checklist. This is a real-time to-do list created by Hula for them and pre-approved by their employer when they signed up for the platform. Then, the employee can begin to source suppliers for the various components of their move. This part of the process in particular currently is an absolute nightmare. It involves cold calling, haggling, phoning a friend, asking a neighbor, doing whatever you can to get the information. Hula brings the best suppliers to them, and they can either search from our integrated database of pre-vetted suppliers, or they can just take our suggestions. And the most important part about this whole process is that the employee feels supported by us at every stage of a very, very stressful process. And the employer knows what's going on. And this platform makes money in two ways. Firstly, in an affiliate commission from the integrated suppliers I just mentioned, and secondly, on a flat fee per move, per relocation. We're still experimenting with pricing, but we know already that we can make between $500 and $1,000 per person per move, whilst reducing the average cost of a relocation for a company by up to 30%. And this is all a very personal mission too. So between our team of 3, we've all been moved for work from the UK to Sri Lanka, to Singapore, to Zambia, to other parts of the UK, to Belgium, to here, and back again. And every single time, it sucked. So we really care about this. And we think that with our combined experience in tech, in travel, and in design, we can change the way that people move around the world for good. And our goal to prove that is over the next 3 months, we aim to help at least 200 people move around the world for work. And we're really pleased to say that in the last 2 weeks that we've got our MVP up and running, we've already helped 24 to do that. So if anyone in this room works for a growing company that's either looking to hire internationally or expand overseas, we want to work with you too. I'm from Hula, and we're here to make international relocation a whole lot easier. Thank you very much.
All right, investors, entrepreneurs, mentors, the entire crowd is here, and my crib notes also. I got a feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night. I wish I could sing that. Okay, Colorado has become a place where great ideas come to be greater, right? Sometimes in our bubble here in Denver, we could easily forget about the rest of the world. But there happen to be some huge opportunities overseas, where travel tech is not yet ubiquitous, and where problems have yet to be solved by innovative and creative entrepreneurs. Your next founder is the grandson of a successful Indian entrepreneur. And you know entrepreneurship is in his blood because he passed up a great opportunity to stay with the family business. Instead, he went after something on his own. Sometimes entrepreneurs just have to solve a problem. They see it and they just have to solve it. And you all know nothing can stop a truly determined entrepreneur from his pursuit. You've all heard the attributes that entrepreneurs have to have: resilience, passion, growth mentality, a decent head on his or her shoulders. Well, there's another thing investors like to see. It's metrics. Metrics that scale. It's a beautiful thing to hear a founder say that they've found a marketing metric that returns anything greater than 1x, because that's a formula you can work with. But 2x, 3x, that's amazing. Because you know what that means. It's time to pump that thing full of money and watch that hockey stick go up. So before I give it away, the next big thing to happen in ground transportation, the company that will win by saving millions of travelers headaches and money, and by opening new markets for taxi drivers in India to dramatically improve their lives, please allow me to introduce you to Raghav Nijavan and Book My Sawari.
Let's say you want to travel from New York to Boston. You can drive yourself, rent a car, or get on a bus. Things are simple. Now to travel the same distance in India, here would be options. You can drive yourself, but sadly 96% Indians don't own a car. You can get on a bus or a train, but that's what it looks like. And even to get a ticket for that, you need to book at least a month in advance. In short, public transportation in India is overcrowded and it sucks. And you would be surprised, that's not just the case for India, but most of Southeast Asia. To get over this problem, a lot of people rely on taxis to travel from one city to a different city. Taxis in India are a lot cheaper. Currently, the traveler does one of the two things. He either physically visits a neighborhood taxi garage and negotiates for terms and fares, or picks up a phone directory, calls a dozen or so cab vendors, and then again negotiate for terms and fares. Even after going through all that hassle, there's a 30% chance the cab driver might not show up at the last moment, citing the reason he might got a better deal, he might be sick, or plain Jane wasn't in a mood. Despite all this, 46 million people travel daily from one city to another in India, using different modes of transport, and over 2 million taxis are used exclusively to travel from one city to another. But the bookings happen mostly offline through local cab vendors who normally own cabs ranging from 1 to 50, and this is the market that's already present. Because of this highly unorganized nature of the sector, it's plagued by 4 major pain points. Unlike trains and buses, return fares charged even for one-way drops because the cab driver, while coming back, isn't able to find a customer on his way back, thus doubling prices and passing that to the traveler. Transparency of price and service is a huge issue, keeps on fluctuating. Lately, safety has been another major concern since there are no background verification checks, either for the cab driver or the cab. And lastly, booking is a pain and a tedious process. While working for a disruptive B2B travel startup, my friend and now co-founder, who was the initial 10 employees for Uber India, and subsequently Ujala, who has expertise in marketing and finance, found this huge pain point which Uber left on the table because of a 30-mile travel limit, while the average distance between cities exceeding 320 miles. Uber, being on demand by default, couldn't guarantee last-minute cancellations either by the cab driver or the traveler. While such a scenario was fine for short distance, as you could wait and book another cab, but for long distance, when you're traveling from one city to another, your hotels, your flight tickets are already done, so you can't take chances. Just to give a very basic example, the average Uber ride lasts 15 minutes. The average ride from one city to another exceeds 9 hours and can go up to a few days, so not your average Uber ride. And that's when Book My Safari was born, a simple platform which could filter and connect travelers for long distance to the existing cab vendors seamlessly. 10 odd seconds, 3 odd clicks, and you could get a guaranteed cab anywhere across India. Select the destination, choose the cab type, and book, and that's it. The traveler had a guaranteed cab, as we penalized the cab driver heavily if there were last-minute cancellations, simultaneously ensuring safety by background verification checks for both the cab driver and the cab. And lastly, we got predictability and transparency in the entire procedure by upfront fares and defined service standards. By leveraging technology and scale, we could connect the cab driver to a different traveler on his way back, thus charging for the actual kilometers against the return fare charge right now, which reduced fares by up to 50% for the traveler. For the cab driver, through added visibility, a steady flow of business, and no unused inventory, he ends up earning 30% more. We charge a 15% commission on every transaction from the cab driver, the average fare being $80 for 300 miles. Currently, the cab driver pays up to 30% of the fare to get leads from either classifieds or phone directories. We have been active for the last 6 months, have done $76,000 in revenue, done over 2,600 rides. Our customers have traveled a cumulative of 600,000 plus miles. We have a network of over 280 cab drivers. Since launch, we are growing 20% month on month. Lately, we have been doing 40 rides daily. We started by 16 rides daily 15 weeks ago. So every 15 weeks or 3 months, you guys are doubling. We aim to make ground transportation in India seamless, economical, and easily accessible to everyone. So next time, no one has to travel like this. That's it.
So we're a full member of the Global Accelerator Network, and in the summer, we were fortunate enough to be invited to have a few of our alumni teams pitch at the Blue Startups demo day in Silicon Valley. We're returning the favor tonight. We invited an alumni from the Blue Startups program here to pitch to you guys. Quick blurb about Blue Startups. So Blue Startups is a top 20 accelerator in the US focused on helping technology companies compete on a global scale with deep domain expertise in international travel technology and exhaustive network in Asia. Blue Startups is a nexus of entrepreneurial activity in Hawaii between Asia and North America. So Blue Startups was founded by Henk Rogers, founder of Tetris Company, Maya Rogers, the CEO of the Tetris Company, and Shanoa Farnsworth of Hawaii Angels. They've been around since 2012. Margot Schmorak is the CEO and co-founder of Hostfully. It's a travel tech company based out of San Francisco who graduated the Blue Startups program in their 8th cohort. They just closed a $500,000 pre-seed round in September, and so I'm happy to bring to the stage Margot Schmorak of Hostfully.
I didn't realize I'd get music. So hi, my name is Margot. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Hostfully. We are helping to transform the guest experience in short-term rentals. Let me tell you a little bit more about that later. So when you've stayed in a vacation rental, you might have gotten a long email or a series of texts or maybe something like this, that 3-ring binder that we've all seen in vacation rentals. And this is the thing that companies are using to manage the guest experience. It sucks, right? And as bad as it is for you, the traveler, it's even worse for companies. These are companies that are having to compete with the rising expectations of travelers traveling on Airbnb, and they need something better to manage their guest experience. They need something better to communicate important information about the property, and they need something better so that they can showcase all the important local stuff that makes their property unique and special. And so we've built that with Hostfully. We have the next generation platform for guest communication for vacation rentals. And we help vacation rentals do 2 things. We help them save a lot of time because they get a lot of questions from guests about how to use the manual and also how to use the home. And we also help them make more money, because when they improve the guest experience, they can get more repeat customers and they get higher ratings, which helps with their SEO. So customers love our product, and you don't have to take my word for it. This is two of our customers. HostKeep is based in Australia, and they said to us, "It occurred to me how quick my workflow is now that I am using Hostfully. It's become critical for the operations of our business." Knox Rentals, which is a company based out of South Africa, told us, "We did a trial comparing 3 options, and we chose Hostfully even though we knew it would be more expensive." So just a quick overview of the product so you can understand what it does. Hostfully is a communications platform that helps short-term rental companies convey important information about the home, like how to access the home, how to check in, how to use the laundry, how to open the shades, and also local recommendations. And we focus on companies that are managing anywhere from 20 to 1,000 different properties at once. That means they have a lot of information that they need to disseminate across their properties to different people, and the turnovers for them are very challenging. We also have made our product really easy to use on the traveler side. It's so easy that you just get a custom link, and you can use that link on any mobile device, including iOS or Android. There's no app to download. It also works on desktop, and it even works in print. We've got a great team that's working to solve this problem. Myself, I helped to launch the iPhone developer program at Apple in 2008. My co-founder also worked at Apple, where he ran worldwide promotions for 6 years. And my co-founder, David, is an Airbnb superhost who's personally experiencing this problem every day. He's hosted over 200 guests in his home over the last few years, and so we have great user experience testing as soon as we get a new feature released, which is really awesome. So what revenue and markets are we going after? Well, we make most of our money through our SaaS platform. We're going after the $8 billion market for SaaS solutions in corporate rentals, short-term rentals, vacation rentals, and boutique hotels. We're also going after the $200 billion market for affiliate revenue. That's revenue that we collect when people book a taxi ride through our platform, or they book champagne service for their honeymoon at the vacation rental. And we also make money from upsells that happen at the destination, things like early check-in, late checkout, baggage storage, and other stuff like that. And we estimate it's about a $26 billion market. So we're super excited. We've had customers grow organically because we also have a premium product. So we are actually in 80 countries around the world, serving over 100 SaaS clients. This is just a few of our clients. And then we also have a great lineup of business partners. We're on the App Store at Booking.com, and we're also partnered with Viator and Kigo, some of the leading players in the vacation rental space. We are gratefully supported by a number of angel investors, accelerators, and customers, including Blue Startups, as you heard. We are also a proud graduate of the Accelerprize Accelerator Program in San Francisco, which is focused on SaaS companies. We're also part of the Wharton Venture Entrepreneurship Program, and we're backed by Backstage Capital and Right Side Capital Management. And these are our angel investors who have really been there along with us along the way. We have 3 angel investors who have reinvested a second time in the same round. And we also have 3 customers who have invested, who I'm highlighting here: Kay Walton, Neil Evans, and Philip Apostolides, people who saw our product, used it, and believed in it so much that they wanted to invest in the company. And I can't tell you how good that feels as a founder to have a product that's really working. Okay, so just some quick metrics to wrap this up. We have been working really hard this year. And I have to say, as a founder, that first gauntlet to go through to get to MVP is the hardest one. We got through that in June, and we had about $2,000 in MRR when that happened. Since then, we've more than quadrupled revenue. I had to update this slide today because we're growing so fast since I submitted the slide last week. We have over 8,500 in MRR since that we've achieved since June. Yeah. So I hope every company can go through such an exciting period as we've had recently. We are really seeing this growth continue to accelerate, and we expect to be hitting that $500,000 ARR mark by the middle of next year. Okay, so to wrap it up, we've had users generate content over 36,000 times on our platform since we've launched. So our users love using the product. We have 85,000 in monthly recurring revenue, and we have 40% month-over-month growth. So things are really looking great for Hostfully. If you'd like to learn more about this and talk to me about our next round, I'd be happy to stick around and chat with anybody who wants to learn more. Thank you very, very much.
So when I first met Trip Hero, I was a little skeptical. Reasonable question is, would people ship their luggage instead of bringing it on an airplane? And Brandon gave the trump card. He told me about the hundreds of thousands of dollars they already had in revenue. Well, that's pretty good. And then I asked, well, you know, is it just going to be skis? And that's when he gave me the second trump card, that more than 75% of everything they'd shipped had not been ski related. All right, well then it's an execution play, right? Just don't fuck it up. And I can tell you that in the last 3 months, I have seen a team led by Brandon that is very much not fucking things up. It's the sort of team that every mentor loves because they listen. And we like that. And they process it and they make their own decisions. And we like that just as much. Because when you're in a program like this, you get a lot of information, and it's incumbent upon you as the founding team to have a point of view. And not everything that we say is right, but some of it is. And what I've seen over the last several months is a team that listens, processes, and then executes. And so I am proud to stand here and introduce Brandon Ford to tell you all about Trip Hero and all the great things that they've done.
So the story begins, fall of 2008. I was in New York City as a lawyer. Just like a lot of young lawyers in New York City, I got laid off. And I had a mound of student loan debt. What to do? I moved to Vail, Colorado, naturally. If I was going to be a bum, I was going to be a ski bum. But it turns out that working as a bellman, valet manager at a 5-star resort was one of the best ways to keep up with those student loans. So every day at Vail, I saw people arriving for $10,000 trips, struggling with their luggage and gear, exhausted about how hard it was to get there. At the same time, airlines began to charge exorbitant fees for regular luggage and also oversized luggage, making it almost impossible for people to bring their ski gear with them. And then I read a New York Times article that changed my life. I still remember the quote: "Packing for a family ski trip is so daunting, overwhelming, and stressful that many people simply give up and refuse to go away for the winter." That pissed me off. The idea that somebody would cancel a trip or not go on a vacation because it was too hard to get there made my stomach turn. So I decided I was going to take this problem on with my dog, Lily. So after working on this problem like a mad scientist, you know, in a very limited time I had, nights and weekends, with only my dog Lily at my side, I finally got enough progress to convince Bethany and Jason to come on board. We quickly started shipping. And our third customer, yes, third, asked us, "Brandon, can you ship my luggage as well?" Being the entrepreneur I am, I said, "Hell yeah," not knowing how we were going to do it, but we figured it out. And then after our first year, we realized 70% of what we shipped wasn't ski gear. Aha. We were onto something bigger than just ski. And our vision was born: a world without baggage claim. And one of our first and best customers, seems we like Eric's around here, Eric Odegaard, now lives in that world. Eric's shipped with Trip Hero 22 times in the last 2 years. This time, he's going on a family ski trip to Vail. So how it works, Eric books his flight, books his hotel, and then books his Trip Hero. His experience is something like this. He packs their bags are picked up at their door, all of them. They're delivered to their final destination, and he gets a text message letting him know that his bags have arrived in Vail. They skip the loading, the unloading. They park the car. They skip baggage check-in, the fees. In Colorado, they experience the same thing. They skip the schlepping, checking, and they go straight to their destination. A happy family. See, Trip Hero creates a sense of freedom, a relief from anxiety. The weight of traveling is replaced with excitement. Rather than worrying about whether their bags have arrived, they talk about the early season snow and which child will be the first to ski a black diamond. We are so grateful and appreciative that we have lifetime customers like Eric. In fact, over 20% of the customers, of our 2,000 customers, have used Trip Hero multiple times in the last 2 years. And this will only grow as we expand to more locations. In the last 2 years, we have done $75,000 in revenue in our first year, and second year, over $180,000. We've shipped over 4,000 items with 0 lost. And we've partnered with some of the biggest brands in travel. Names like the Four Seasons, Inspirato, the Lodge of Vail, East West, and the Ritz-Carlton. In the last 3 weeks, we've secured 8 partnerships with the mentorship of people like Bruce, Mims, and Eric. And this is why we want to expand and fast. Our partners are excited to introduce the world and teach the world to let go of luggage. And this year, we are continuing our service in Vail, Beaver Creek, and Aspen. And we are excited to announce we are going to expand in Breckenridge, Keystone, and Copper, and Telluride. Fall of next year, we're going to expand to the top 10 or 15 ski resorts at places like Park City, Deer Valley, North Star, and Squaw Valley. This summer, we're going to expand to potential destinations like in California, Florida, Arizona, where there are resort destinations where our partners can help us reach. So whether you're skiing in Colorado, golfing at Scottsdale, or taking your family to Florida, soon your trip planning will read like this: book your hotel, book your flight, and book your Trip Hero. So we'd love to help you and the world learn to let go of luggage. Thank you.
So my name is JP Lind, and this is my 3rd tour of duty as a Travelport mentor. I've had the opportunity to work with all the founders here today, and it is a testament to the program of Travelport. It really is an incredible program that you guys have put together. It's also the hard work of the mentors, although I think it's one of those things in life where when you get to mentor, you actually learn more than you ever hoped to impart. And lastly, it's the hard work and dedication of the founders here today. So with that, let's give everyone a big applause. So I wish I had something funny or embarrassing to say about these next 2 founders that I'm going to introduce, but I got absolutely nothing. I've even tried to bribe the Travelport staff, and they had nada. That being said, my curiosity got the better of me, and I went straight to the source. I asked each founder to tell me a little dirt about the other one. And I will tell you, it wasn't easy, because it's like asking one of those interview questions when you get someone to talk about their weaknesses. So the dirt was, well, Nihal, he's too much of a planner. And Cyrus works too hard. Boring. I will say that I did find out that Nihal is such a planner that he has his wedding planned down to the song to which he's going to dance with his wife on the dance floor, and he doesn't even have a girlfriend. So that's actually pretty good. But here's what I really got. Nihal flew to Las Vegas last month to see an Air Supply concert. Enough said. I'm sure you could have found a girlfriend there. Cyrus walks very confidently like a man on a mission, but is known to walk into ladies' bathrooms on accident. Not so bad, right? So here's what I can tell you. Both Nihal and Cyrus are always positive, smiling, and constantly improving. As founders, they both share a single-minded passion and purpose to solve a unique and massive travel problem in India, the world's second most populated country, with over 1.3 billion people. I'm pleased to introduce two great guys and one awesome company, Isa.
Have you ever been going about life on a regular afternoon and just wanted to get away from it all? That would be great, right? You just whip out your phone and you book that international flight ticket. Done. You bag that great hotel deal. Done. And you get a visa easily. Wait, is that even possible? While the travel industry has grown in leaps and bounds with single-click flights and hotels, visas continue to be as complex as ever. Each country has their own processes, their own visa forms. You end up standing in line for hours in some cases at the embassy. And despite it all, there's a chance that your visa might be rejected. The problem is even worse for Indian passport holders like me, who need a visa to travel to 180 different countries, including 17 of the top 20 destinations that Indians travel to. Now, how do you think that makes the average Indian feel? Annoyed, anxious, and stressed out? But more often than not, that paperwork ends up getting passed down the office to those people at the back, which, yes, is my co-founder, Cyrus, and me, at our previous jobs, where we started India's first entrepreneurial B school. Over the 8 years that we've worked together, we've filled up countless visa forms, and we were always looking for an easier way. So with our combined passion for technology and travel, we came up with the idea of ISA in February this year. ISA is an online end-to-end solution for easy visas for Indian passport holders, first for tourist visas, and subsequently for business visas. Now, we did a bit of research and found that a visa requirement is associated with a 69% reduction in inbound travel from a country. Now, that might seem quite hypothetical. So let's take a natural experiment, for example, Hong Kong. For years, Indian citizens have taken advantage of visa-free travel to the city. But in January this year, they introduced a new pre-arrival registration system, basically a visa, which resulted in a 21% decrease of Indians traveling to Hong Kong in the first 6 months, which just goes to show how much people hate redundant processes and paperwork. But on ISA's platform, the user has to enter their information just once, which entails questions that are commonly asked across almost every visa form. The ISA team then stores the information and is able to auto-complete 70% of any visa application. We then verify the form, submit it as per the embassy guidelines, and once a decision on the visa is made, the passport or visa is delivered back to the customer. We're saving almost 60% of the time generally taken for electronic submissions and over 80% of the time taken for submissions that require a physical presence at the embassy, because we even stand in line for you. In some cases, we're cutting the time taken from 2 hours to just 10 minutes. We're also like the TurboTax for visas, because we're able to predict the approximate visa processing time and the probability of a visa rejection. The ISA team then works with the customer to prevent these rejections by providing additional information and additional documentation. Our visa voucher algorithm does this by analyzing user profile data like age, travel history, previous rejections, and employment status. For these services, direct customers pay us a convenience charge per visa, and travel agents pay a subscription model per month, which they offer as a paid product to their customers. We're already working with 10 travel agent beta partners who are able to control their visa applications using ISA's backend. Do you remember that story about Hong Kong? Well, that proved to be the best place to start, because we've already done 108 visas in just 7 weeks of launching our Hong Kong pilot. Now, based on this traction, we've been able to predict 1,000 visas for our first 5 countries in the next 5 months, and we're going live in just 2 weeks. Numbers are set to grow as we roll out 28 more countries, travel to which requires 9 million visas each year by April 2018. As we grow ahead, we'd love to connect with even more travelers and even more travel agents. We're already talking to one of the largest online travel agencies, or OTAs, in India, but we're looking to reach out to even more. But let me tell you why. Because with OTAs, we'll be making that flight, hotel, visa process seamless and easy. For the first time in India, all visa forms will be online. Almost any visa form will be a 90% complete. And the entire process will take you just 5 minutes. With all this, we have the potential to save 10 million hours in visa work for Indian passport holders each and every year. By 2020, there will be 50 million people traveling abroad from India, and our promise is to make international travel borderless for them, and then for other countries across the world.
So I want to invite the teams to come on up stage, all the teams, all the people who were part of the program this year. This is the part where they all walk slowly upstage, as slowly as they can go. So I can actually say this part first. I have seen an amazing, radical, and impressive transformation and growth of the founders here as individuals, people who can make ideas happen in the world, and in the companies, the trajectory that you've had for your companies, how you've grown up as a company, and what you've been able to accomplish. We have a very interesting thing we do here at the Travelport Accelerator called the Midpoint Readout. And this is the middle of the program. They said, this is where we started, this is what we learned so far, and this is what we hope to accomplish by the end of the program. Every single one of these teams has managed to accomplish far beyond what they thought was possible at the middle of the program. And first of all, join me in giving them a shout out for that. That's amazing. Yeah. I'm impressed with them as human beings. And as much as we want to take credit for that as the staff, it's not us. We came here with an army. There's an army of mentors. At this point, we have over 150 mentors from around the world who are involved in some way with this program. So if you're a mentor, please stand up. Yeah. Yeah. So thank you. I mean, you have changed their lives, right? Okay, you can sit if you want. You've transformed their lives. They're people that you're going to be part of. You're going to be part of their lives for the rest of their lives, and you've changed the trajectory of what they're doing as human beings on this planet. But there's like 3 things I know to be true that will always make your life better. Being able to experience gratitude, which I have for the people here, and I think we all have for the mentors in this room. To be part of a community that supports you, and to there's a third thing. and
Write things down.
I should. What's that? Never write them down. Yeah, it's to experience gratitude. And the third one is on the mentors. You know this. You work tirelessly. I know JP was working on people. I won't no names. Was working on somebody's executive summary at 11:30 last night. The idea of giving back and what you get from that makes your life better. And the mentors in this room do that in spades, and it is fantastic and amazing. And with that, I just want to thank you again and turn it over to Nathan.
The most important announcement of the night, double mic'd. The most important, the bar is open. We're going to stay up here and take some photos, and we'll meet you out there by the bar. Thanks so much for coming, guys, tonight. Really appreciate the massive community support. Thank you.